Welcome, everybody. Good Shabbat. Thank you to everybody who has come today, and for those that will listen to this talk at some time in the future. Our discussion currently for these several weeks ahead of us are Mar Yeshua's, the Master Jesus's sayings on judgment or teachings about judgment. Oftentimes, people don't like to receive judgment in constructive or deconstructive ways. But especially here, when we talk about the concept of judgment in modern Christianity, it tends to be judging somebody in a negative way for their shortcomings, for their sin. And also there's an idea of Judgment Day, which we'll address probably in not next week, but the following. So the idea is that if you're bad, you deserve a lot of punishment. Usually, if you punish a bad child, and you just yell at them over and over again, there's not going to be any improvement. It's only when we show love and tolerance to people that they start to rethink their thoughts, their words, and their actions. And when we give people a surplus of spiritual love and tolerance, usually that's what makes people turn around and choose a higher path. And that's what Mar Yeshua even talked about with the woman that cried and anointed his feet and dried his feet with her hair. He said that much is forgiven to people who love much. So whenever you meet a real living spiritual master, I've had the good fortune of having that experience for the last 19, 20 years of my life. Usually annually, I see her and she gives blessings and spiritual advice one-on-one. And every single time that I go up to see her, I wonder, oh God, I know that her spiritual vision sees everything about me, but yet all she ever has done was hug and encourage me. And every time that I've left after that encouragement, after that blessing, it's made me, myself, look at myself and make goals for self-reformation. So even if somebody is wrong, even if somebody really is acting detrimentally towards us or offensively towards us, judging somebody usually will never bring about a good result. It'll usually bring about more excuses or more fighting or more emotionalism. So instead of judging others, the best way of handling that situation is to set an example yourself of what you'd like to see others doing. But the topic is judgment. Did Jesus allow us to judge others? And we continue our conversation from last week with 2 verses. So first we have to understand the idea of judgment, what judgment was originally in Hebrew. Because as you may know, the Christian Testament is written in Greek, not Aramaic, Jesus's language, which was a derivative of Hebrew. Hebrew was the liturgical language, and Aramaic was the daily conversational language back in Jesus's day. So the term that we're talking about is mishpat. Mishpat means justice. It does not mean judgment, but throughout the Christian Testament, mishpat has been translated as judgment instead of justice. So a shofet was a judge, a leader of a Jewish village, who would resolve disputes in a particular community. Mishpat is the Hebrew word for justice, coming from the same root as shofet. It is often translated as judgment throughout the Christian Testament. However, it literally means justice. And as we all may know from our personal life experience, there's a world of difference between the words judgment and true justice. Oftentimes we judge people from a faulty perception that we have. Many times we make assumptions about people's thoughts, people's words, people's actions, and we put a judgment against them that isn't even just. So judging others, we have to always understand that we're looking through our own rose-colored eyeglasses. We're not seeing things always as they are. Even when things seem apparent, there may be underlying reasons why a person is behaving the way they're behaving. So instead of judging them and being the judge, jury, and executioner of people or peoples or races or countries, True justice is having a conversation and trying to figure out where we do agree so that we can move forward. So let's examine some of the historical teachings of Mar Yeshua, the Master Jesus, on Mishpat, or justice. So the first saying, both of these sayings are Son of Man sayings today. And it's very interesting, no matter how you define the Son of Man, we'll share our tradition's understanding of the Son of Man, or even if you have a more traditional Christian understanding of the Son of Man, either way, it indicates that the Son of Man does not judge. So in Luke chapter 9, verses 54 through 56, we see the phrase, the Son of Man does not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. So this shows the compassion of the Son of Man. It doesn't stage the Son of Man, whether we perceive that to be Jesus alone or the Son of Mankind Messiah, which is a corporate entity in our tradition. It's a community of saints, of perfected beings. But whether you see the Son of Man as being an individual reality or a corporate reality, whatever that is, it's not there to judge. And often in modern Christianity, we see it is interpreted or spun that Mar Yeshua is the Davidic Messiah that will descend from the clouds and destroy all the evildoers, put judgment over the world, and there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. All done. Everything's cool. And that's just not what's going to happen. We've discussed this in many other modules, so if you're interested, please check out the YouTube channel and see what you can learn there. And feel free to ask questions by communicating with me through the chat. But in either case, this isn't about judgment. The Son of Man comes to save, to uplift, to give compassion to give tolerance to. The Son of Man does not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And by men, obviously, it doesn't mean a man, it means humanity. The Son of Man does not come to destroy humanity, but to save humanity. And really, the Son of Man's job is to inspire humanity to be a better humanity, a new humanity that is imbued with qualities like compassion, pure love, pure consciousness. And that's how we can save humanity. One might want to interpret this as being saved from hell. I don't believe that that's what Jesus was saying here, but really, we don't have to wait for a potential hell to be saved from. This earth and how we live in it is a hell. All we have to do is look at our families, look at our nations, look at the countries of this world, and you see division everywhere. So humanity makes humanity's own hell, and we need to be saved from our own negative thoughts, words, and actions. How does the Son of Man save us? By inspiring us to do good actions. If we perceive the Son of Man as being Jesus, then it's doing Jesus's teachings. It's doing his halakha that purifies the heart and the mind of those that follow his teachings. The Son of Man is a Danielic concept that comes from the book of Daniel. And the book of Daniel was written in Aramaic, and the term is Baranash, which means the son of mankind. Not the son of a man, but the son of humanity, the son of Adam. And what the book of Daniel taught was that there was a purified Baranash at the right hand of God in heaven. And that this purified son of mankind Messiah would purify the earth, would help to spread God's Malkuth, or kingship, rulership over the earth. And that rule is a rule of love. God is love, so says John. So the Son of Mankind is a corporate reality with many pieces. So it is justifiable to say that Jesus Christ was the Son of Man. He was a Son of Man. And it's very interesting because when you look at Ezekiel, I believe God references Ezekiel as the Son of Man 99 times. So if the title Son of Man was only for Jesus, why is God calling Ezekiel that title? It's simple, because the Son of Man, there wasn't one Son of Man for all time. Jesus wasn't a one-time manifestation of the one and only Messiah. Messiah just means anointed by God. But the idea is that the old humanity becomes the new humanity. The old Adam becomes the second Adam. And the old Adam is distinguished, when you look at the Old Testament, by violence, negativity in thought, word, and deed. Just read the Old Testament and you'll cringe all throughout it. And once you get to the Christian Testament, where Jesus begins his life and his teachings, you see Jesus talking about compassion, love, understanding. And these qualities are what gives spiritual birth within each person's heart to become a Bar Anash, to become a son or a daughter of God, a son or a daughter of mankind. This was the true meaning of the Son of Man. So yes, there are individual saints. A Jewish saint was often called a son of man. Ezekiel was a son of man because he was a Jewish saint, a Jewish prophet. And Jesus likewise earned that name. And anyone who seeks to perfect him or herself becomes a son or daughter of mankind, a son or daughter of God. And that person is a Sadiq, somebody who is perfect, shalem, whole. They've brought together all the fragmented parts of their mind and emotions and memory and everything else that makes up the human experience. And they've offered that to God in a rebirthed way, with a pledge that's at least internal to serve God and humanity and make the world a better place than it is today. That is the goal of the Son of Man. So Jesus is an individual Son of Man, and the Son of Mankind corporate Messiah, which is the communion of all saints who have attained that state of perfection. That's what this verse is about, both as an individual and as a corporate reality. The Son of Man does not come to destroy men's lives, but to inspire them how to live better, how to save themselves from the torture that we create for all of humanity and the earth and animals in this planet. The Son of Man inspires us or teaches us to be better, to be a new humanity, imbued with compassion and pure love. The next phrase is very interesting. No one likes change. It's a fact. Everybody resists change. They like what they're used to. So Jesus is recorded as having said in the Gospel of Thomas, Logian 16, people may think that the Bar Anash, Son of Man, will come to bring peace to the world, but they do not realize that the advent of the Bar Anash will bring divisions on the earth, fire, sword, warfare. For there shall be 5 in one home, 3 shall be against 2, and 2 against 3, the father against the son, and the son against the father. Another phrase from the Gospel of Thomas that I like to reflect on is that Jesus said, people that are used to the taste of old wine do not prefer new wine. People that are used to old things, consuming old ideas, digesting old ideas, get indigestion or fear about consuming new things, new ideas. And this was something that Mar Yeshua was very acquainted with. The temple establishment of Judaism at Jesus's time was doing things that Jesus considered to be not right, that they wouldn't help people to attain higher spiritual heights, that it was filled with the temple establishment, the richer establishment of Pharisees and Sadducees. He felt that they looked down their noses at the regular people, the Amaha Aretz. And Jesus began teaching a different message that was very different from the eschatological end of the world, apocalyptic viewpoint of the Jews, which was also a viewpoint that Paul eventually espoused. But Jesus was not about the end of the world, as modern churches put it. He came from a tradition of eschatological expectation, the end of the world. The Jews of his time the Jews had been misplaced so many times, had been conquered by so many people. They are forced to leave their own homeland in various exiles. This has happened throughout history, even up until today. There's still fights over the Holy Land and where Jews can live, should live. So it's really utterly ridiculous. But with the apocalyptic viewpoint, the Jews felt that, especially with the Roman occupation and prior occupations by Babylonians and other cultures, that the end of the world must be coming. It was so bad that the end must be coming. So they were actually looking for a way out. They were looking for an escape. And they developed the messianic expectation of the son of David, because King David was a great hero in Jewish history. So from the stem of David would come a new plant, the messianic expectation of the son of David, Messiah. And a lot of people tried to prove that Jesus was the Davidic Messiah, but Jesus himself in Mark said that he satirized the Davidic Messiah. He didn't believe in it. And it was very clear, but most of the Gospels, if not all of them, are spun to call Jesus the son of David, that he would come and he would judge the earth. He would slay the evildoers, and he would establish a new kingdom of good people. Of course, people that adhere to Christian beliefs only would be part of this kingdom, and everybody else would be, well, put into hellfire. Does that sound like the same Jesus that taught about love and understanding? It does not, because Jesus was not the Davidic Messiah. But anyhow, one might interpret this as being that the Son of Man, as Jesus, the Davidic Messiah, which is incorrect, didn't come to bring peace to the world, but I want to shake things up. I want to cause fire, sword, warfare. It's not even remotely synonymous with the message of Jesus. The truth is whenever a great spiritual master comes and speaks against an establishment, and this has happened in many traditions around the world, ancient and current, when somebody shakes up the present understanding, the establishment, the money that is in religion, then the establishment will go after both people and after individuals that speak a higher truth. And Mar Yeshua was such a person. He was crucified for trying to establish truth on earth. The Jewish temple establishment did not like what he had to do, what he had to say, what he encouraged others to do. And also the Romans were afraid of him because of this misinterpretation of the Davidic Messiah thing, which was totally untrue. And Jesus didn't believe he was either. So what this is about is that whenever something new is introduced, it shakes up the system. And the system that's in power will try to control those that want to outgrow the system. And this causes all kinds of fights and arguments, even death and war. And that's what Jesus was talking about here. People may think that the Bar Anash will come to bring peace to the world, the individual Bar Anash as perfected beings, as well as the corporate Messiah, which inspires things from higher heavenly realms. When anything good is put into the ether, there is an energy of bad out there. There is an energy of evil, and it does not want to die. It does not want its structures to die. It will fight so that truth can be suppressed. And that's what Jesus is talking about here. You may think that I've come to bring peace to the world, but the advent of the Bar Anash will bring divisions, and it did. Even in Roman times, early Christians were highly persecuted because they were considered to be atheists, because atheist meant something different to the Roman population. The Romans expected that the population should bow down and honor various gods. And because the Christians would not do that, or would not honor the emperor as a god in flesh, then they were seen as atheistic because they did not uphold the religious cultural norms. And then they were aggressed for several centuries in the beginning of the Christian era. So these are all called birth pangs in the Messiah. Birth pangs are the troubles that individuals, societal groups, racial groups, countries, the world will go through as truth is established by various spiritual masters, including Mar Yeshua. Anytime that truth is expounded that is against the cultural norm or against the social structure of religion, that structure does not want to die and it will fight back. The Catholic Church killed so many various people that established truth. The Knights Templar, they tried to kill them. They weren't successful, but they tried. They tried to kill them. They tried to kill every single Gnostic Christian viewpoint, but Gnosticism is still available in the world in some form and shape. They tried to kill every viewpoint that wasn't their own. And that's the fire, sword, and warfare that we see. Even in today's world, religion is used heavily to create social division. In the United States, there's the idea of Christian nationalism. Mixing politics with religion is never good. But Christian nationalism is one of the biggest threats to American democracy there ever was. It's totally evil. And none of its viewpoints that are adhered to in the public or spouted out on media has anything to do with the teachings of Jesus. So even in today's world, still, the coming of this truth of God's Malkuth, sovereignty, which is born in each perfected heart, as that grows, there'll be resistance from the old world structure. But something new is coming, and it's beyond religious structures. That's what all great masters teach. That religion is like the outside of a coconut. But what you want to get to is the coconut inside, the fruit. That's what will nourish you. The spiritual values that true masters and mystics have taught throughout the ages. So as truth spreads in the earth, we have to expect that there will be opposition to that. And there should never be violence returned for violence. Everything should be brought about by an example, demonstrating how pure love and pure consciousness is more powerful than fire, sword, or warfare. If you like these types of ideas about pre-Christian teachings of Yeshua, I do recommend this book by one of my teachers, Bishop Louis Kaiser, The Pre-Christian Teachings of Yeshua. I've taken the translations of his verses for these slides. You could also check out his website at www.hometemple.org, which is very interesting. Let's conclude with the second cup of blessing. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother of the universe, please help us to have pure hearts and pure understanding. And when opposition comes our way, may we set the example that we'd like to see in the world. Amen, amen, amen. Good Shabbat, everybody. I'll see you next Friday.